The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Well, good morning. I'm Paige Clarke, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle. And this is where we explore our return to a more balanced and natural and wild world.
That's right, to recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. And I'm Nico Haan.
And it is going to be another scorcher, but beautiful day. 74 degrees right now in downtown Clearwater, Florida. Sunny skies.
Yep.
And I want to make sure you guys subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter. This is news you can use. It's a collation of the stuff Nico and I comb through all week long so that we can come to you and tell you stuff that we think is really worth paying attention to.
Yeah, and this week's issue really is all about CBDs, other things in there too. And
Everything you got to know.
yeah, we have that page. I think it's page 22, if I can scroll real quick down
Yeah,
to
we put a coupon for you guys. We're going to be using one of the brands I have in my office, the Purium products, very pure organic products. They have a new CBD 1,500 milligram, and in the back is a coupon that you can use to get the CBD or any of their great products. Take advantage of that. It doesn't expire. There's no holes barred. They'll send you a few emails, and they wouldn't be giving away $50 worth of product if it didn't turn out to be a good marketing thing.
It's a
people
good
like
thing,
their stuff.
and you can buy 4 of them for like $2.99, I think it is, right?
It's down to $75 a bottle.
Yeah, which is really good. And 1,500 milligrams, if you're going to take this orally, this is the percentage that you want in there. If you take, like they have 400s and 600s, you have to take a lot when you
do the math, and I always tell people if they, a lot of people are confused about that. You take the milligrams on the bottle, and you divide it by the bottle size. So say a 30 ml bottle divided into 1,500 gives you 50 milligrams per serving.
Right.
Then you can see how much do you have to use to do a squirt, a serving. Is it 1 squirt or 20 squirts?
6 squirts. Yep.
But this one is 6.
That's right.
And I find that when you do the math, sometimes people are paying for the CBD potency that a bottle would cost them, like $700 if they were getting one that was 1,500 milligrams. So, the math can kind of.
So there's links here. The links are to the product catalog here. There's a little promo here, and also the special discount. Catalog is filled with a lot of good products too. So take a look at those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Highly recommended.
Yeah. So Nico, in fact, when I get back next week, I am going to miss Tuesday, but next week I want to highlight. I'm going to be doing a cellulite fat flush with these girls, this little transformation tribe, and anybody who buys any of those cleansing products like the 10-day transformation, they can be a part of this group for free. And these are some cool little ladies. They're just, we call them the Holistic Babe Squad.
Pictures?
Yeah. Well, this week I'm going to Tennessee for a kind of I'm going to be.
A little joke, actually.
Yeah.
Guys always want to see pictures
the
of girls.
pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No.
Well, if you get into the group, you can see all these girls on video, and they're all very healthy little smart girls. But
Today,
okay, I want to talk about doing a digital detox.
good idea, I think.
And it kind of got me going down that. I saw this new website called Slow Digital, kind of like slow food.
Uh-huh.
That whole slow food movement.
No.
Oh, well, slow food is kind of what we promote, buying local.
Oh, okay.
Not cooking at
I didn't
home
know it was
again.
called slow. Yeah.
Getting back to.
Well, it is slow food, and that's not fast food. That's for
right.
sure. Yeah,
That's the whole idea
I get
of
it.
Yeah. So now this is called Slow Digital, and we're going to do a little introduction to the site, and then perhaps end on some ideas of how you might want to consider doing a digital detox. Myself, I'm going to be going on vacation. I want to just highlight this real quick.
Sure.
Next week I'm going to miss Tuesday because I'm going to see a dentist orthodontist.
Okay.
and I'll just start opening up why I'm doing this at these 5+ decades that I am, and what has happened, what I noticed in the last few years, having to do with my bite, my jaw positioning, my ability to breathe, and my everything about all of this. And I've gotten a lot of information about how important that is. So I'm going away to have a consult. So you'll be here on Tuesday.
Yep.
Then we'll have our show on Thursday, and then I'm going to Europe, and I'm going to be in Switzerland, Italy, and Austria, and really doing like the lake country.
Wow.
And a lot of hiking. That's my wish. Is many times when I go there, it's been cold. Just the times that I go, and so there's a lot of bundled up and a lot of wonderful, Austrian food and Germanic food and some, and so forth. And I feel a little overfed, although the food is so good there. Most of those countries don't allow GMOs. I don't really have a lot of problem there.
I don't think you have to worry about that at all.
But my intention is to kind of detach a little bit.
Well, that's a good thing.
Check in kind of like as it was before we had the portable mobile device. And so I thought you guys might want to think about doing that too, and how you could get some benefits from that.
Yeah, everybody come along on the trip, I think.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
Go to Switzerland, that sounds pretty good to me.
And I'm going to post a picture, but you know how you can have your camera so that you're not really in the moment, you're so busy trying to capture the moment.
That's true.
But you're not
That can
enjoying
happen.
the moment.
Yeah.
I'm all more about being in the moment,
Yeah.
and because the reality is you love your pictures, but you get maybe 5 or so of your favorite pictures, and that kind of encapsulates it. You don't spend forever going.
Okay.
But let's get to the digital detox, or the slowdigital.com. And there are a few people who have influenced research on radiation, and there's one who is Dr. Alan Frey, a biophysicist and engineering psychologist. His work has changed the scientific approach to the subject of radiation and made it an important topic for other scientists. And what has he done? Well, I don't know, because I found this site and I want to explore it.
Okay.
And I want us to do it together. And again, slowdigital.com. And the question is, can you hear radiation?
Well, there's devices that pick up radiation, like Geiger counters and things like that. They make the clicking sound.
Yeah, and that's sort of a static buzzing noise in response to the radiation in the
Right.
area. When Brian Hoyer from the GeoVital company over in Austria came and measured in my house. It was
Right,
pretty
I
amazing to
remember
see
that.
all the devices he had. Older measurement devices convert this radioactivity into electricity, which could be heard through a speaker, and this is often the radiation sound we might hear on films and television.
TV, yeah, you do hear that for sure. Frey decided that the effects described by the technician was, in his opinion, factual. The radiation could cause audible buzzes or clicks. So we may not hear them, but some people do apparently hear them. And of course, from the TV, you heard that, especially in the old days with the big tubes.
Yeah, and he says this could be heard by humans, but not in the same way that sound waves are heard. Very interesting. So in other words, hearing radiation as opposed to the sound of radiation. And according to Frey, it occurred in the brain itself, where tiny electrical fields were generated by the microwaves interacting with the brain cells.
Yeah, and he says here, supposedly many deaf people were able to hear the microwave radiation.
And some of these workers were claiming that the microwave hearing was accompanied by side effects such as dizziness, headaches, and the signals of radiation could be heard by them even at distances of 100 meters from the radar. We're going to go down this rabbit hole a little bit.
I don't think really it's a rabbit hole, it's just a hole.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think it's, I threw out my microwave years ago.
Yeah.
And,
but we're talking
because-
about the radiation is what
Yeah.
our cell phones are using, so we got to pay attention.
Well, let's continue. We'll be right back, folks. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And welcome back. So Paige and I are discussing this gentleman, Alan Frey, who is one of the most active researchers on the health effects of microwave radiation in the United States. Now, his studies were funded by the Office of Naval Research and the Army, American Army, because of the expanded use of radar in the U.S. military at that time. And of course, he was doing testing on rats and frogs and all kinds of things. But he's probably one of the most influential people in this field. And I want to go back to the statement that you were making before, the deaf people hearing this radiation, but it said it could be heard by humans, but not in the same way that sound waves are perceived.
Yeah, that's what I said, and I think that's very intriguing. I'm wondering if that's a little bit of like Patrick Sullivan's work with his neophone. He says that we hear with other bones in our head. And they're talking about this being almost like the electricity of the
because
synapses.
there are earphone companies that have things that you can attach to the bones in your head. So you're not actually hearing it, but the vibration of the bone gives you the same effect. Really interesting.
Now that's interesting.
Yeah, and I've tested those, and they do work really well.
This kind of so what happened? What's happened with Alan Frey? The groundbreaking research. After publishing a study, Alan Frey requested renewal of government funding to continue research on the effects of this microwave radiation. Right. He remembered. He says, in a quote, largely as a consequence of his report, funding for open microwave bioresearch in the United States was essentially shut down. And he received a letter stating that funding would not be granted unless I dropped some reference to some of this research. And Dr. Alan Frey was the first to provide the scientific research on radiation's impact on health. He is truly the pioneer and one of the most well-known scientists in this field. Now he is over 80 years old and still working as a scientist at Random Line Incorporated in Maryland, U.S.
So interesting that he was shut down on those projects, and really because of the information he was getting was detrimental to, the way they were thinking, the stuff we need.
Well, exactly. And here's we're going to talk. There's a lot of information we're going to probably go into more detail. We might want to go into this idea of that there's a 21st century disease, according to Slow Digital, and it's called no more nomophobia.
No
So
more
no more
phobia.
phone phobia.
Yeah.
Are you afraid of not having your phone?
Well, we live in a time when most of us can't really live without our phones, our mobile phones. We use them everywhere. We use them at work, in restaurants, during a walk.
That's right.
We bring them into the toilet. I know I've done that myself. Many
I mean,
of us
if you
feel...
look around, everybody's got their face in a phone,
Yeah.
including ours truly. I'm sure we're in it more than we probably would like to admit.
Yeah, I've been in the habit of shutting things off and shutting things down at certain times, but I know I'm in it real deep for sure.
And boy, do I relate to this. Many of us feel a need to be up to speed
Right.
with what's going on at all times, and we'll find an excuse for having to have our mobile phone with us.
Well, this is, we've had 20 years of breaking news on every single channel. It's always breaking news. No matter what the story is, it's breaking news. And that in itself changes your, the way you look at things. Because
Right.
now it's an urgent thing. When, it's not important. It's like the old-time phone ringing. It wasn't important, but you always had to answer it. Nowadays, the home phone doesn't get answered anymore because we know it's always a robocall.
Well, and true, it doesn't mean that we're all obsessed. Mobile phones have made our lives so much easier. But the problem starts, however, when we panic without a mobile phone and we feel as though everything we do revolves around it. And if we call a spade, it's an addiction. It makes us feel restless and on edge, and it negatively impacts our lives, especially in the long run. And guys, we're sharing this information from slowdigital.com. So,
Yeah, and I've had the feeling when I leave my phone somewhere, just forget that I have it, and all of a sudden I realize I don't have it with me. Oh my God, where is it? And I got to get it.
Oh yeah,
It's
you
just
feel so disconnected.
it is. It's very disturbing.
And you always have those memories that of when did you first realize? Remember, what are some of your last memories, I should say, of when you didn't have a phone? And I remember being like 16 or 17 years old, and I went out to a party or something. There were no cell phones around, just pay phones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we went out someplace in the woods, whatever. We were out there and built a fire and everything, and we got stuck because in Florida we have this sand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's called Boy Scout Lake. It's up here in Tarpon Springs, and everybody went out there, open fields, but it was kind of remote. And we got stuck, and we couldn't get out. Nobody could find us. We were kind of way back in the lake, and it was dark and
And
everything.
nobody had their phones?
Well, nobody had phones because there were
back
no
in those-
phones.
okay, that was
there were no
in the
phones.
days,
So
okay.
here I was, a
Yep.
16-year-old girl. My dad was freaking out, but we didn't get home until 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, but you're still here. So.
Yeah. Well, but
Yeah, I understand.
But
Yeah.
somehow or another, guys, we survived. But today, that would just be incomprehensible, right?
It seems like it.
Our young kids today would not have any idea. And so how does nomophobia manifest itself?
Okay, well, first of all, mobile phones addicts are obsessed with being without their phone or being in no contact for 24 hours a day. I mean, you need it all the time. It becomes more important than eating, meeting your friends, family, or even focusing on work.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
think
How about the fear of a dead battery?
Oh, my
I'm not
goodness.
charged.
Yeah,
Not
the
being able
panic
to
set.
charge
When
it
you
up
get to
quickly.
see that 8 or 10%, you go, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Yeah,
it's
when
crazy.
you know a person's not at home, it really creates some stress. An addict would feel frustrated, stressed, or anxious, and they need to constantly be able to know that there's a recharge spot. And
Yeah.
also,
Of course, now we
public
have
places they're everywhere.
Yeah, every action is determined in some way by the possession of the mobile phone,
Now, that's true.
even when you're shopping,
Oh, I
Yeah.
see everybody on them at the gym, shopping.
walking down the
I hate
street,
to say it,
walking
driving.
with your baby.
Yeah.
You're not paying attention to the baby, but you got the phone. That's more important. It's a crazy thing.
It is really sick, but it was, it's a little bit by design is what I'm going to tell you. Keep everybody with their heads in the sand like big ostriches, and they don't pay attention to what's really happening in the world.
So a monophobic person is likely to be afraid of somebody hacking into their phone and checking the data history or contacts and deleting the important information.
And even more so, a mobile phone addict will sleep with their mobile phone next to him or herself, compulsively checking phone notifications and having their phantom vibrations, which is all horrible for your sleep, folks. You know what you know what? We go from that situation where, what if someone needed to reach me in the middle of the night? My kids are on different time zones.
Well, mine turns off. I set it to turn off at 9 o'clock at night, but the device is still on.
Yeah, but you still have a home phone.
Yeah, but we never use it.
I know, but many people do. But
Yeah.
if there was some kind of urgency, the only reason I don't care about notifications. I just want to know that if someone that needed me, that I love needed me, I want to know that I get notified. Now, so I think one of the solutions is turn it on airplane mode, because it's still,
Well, also, if
if someone dials you twice, it'll ring.
One of the things I remember about my dad, he always, at night, he would just disconnect the phone from the wall. And at one time I said to him, I'm a teenager now, I'm going out at night, sometimes I go out all night. How, if something happens to me, I can't get in touch with you? He says, well, see you in the morning. I said, well, what if I'm in jail? He says, well, then you'll be in jail. Whatever it is, you're going to have to handle it. You're responsible enough to do that. So it's one of the things he always did.
Yeah.
And so he was checking out before anybody else was, I guess.
Well, it sounds like he was just a wise, good dad. And,
I guess so. Yeah.
Dads are, gosh.
But the thing is, with our phones today, now they become the alarm clock. There's other functions for them. They track your sleep. So let's continue this conversation.
Let's talk
when we get
more
back.
about the nomophobia.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live, and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back.
And welcome back, guys. We're talking a little bit about slow digital or our digital detox, and maybe it's something that we all need to take a moment and do for our health's sake, because with nomophobia, or no more phone phobia, the lack of phone causes similar symptoms to classic neuroses as an increased blood pressure, palpitations, maybe your hands tremble, and intensified feelings of panic or shortness of breath. And these are all signs of stress. And stress kills folks, and it makes a person check their phone as fast as possible.
Yeah, and this reminds me of a little story you had the other day on the show when you were talking with Will about redecorating your kitchen. And this, to me, adds another part of the neurosis about it, because now all of a sudden you go on your phone and what happened? You started seeing ads for...
Oh, it was more than that, Nico.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've all noticed that, you know, it's called pixelation. They see what you browse on, and then they put ads into your feed. So how we get there from this? What we're saying is, because we're so addicted to our phones and we have them around us all the time, we've created the perfect scenario for listening and spying on what we do. And there was a comment made in the chat room: be aware that Facebook is listening to your conversations through your phone's microphone. Yes, indeed, it's happening. And what happened to me the other night, Nico, was it wasn't just the ads. I've seen those, and I understand through the
Well,
online
when you're
marketing.
clicking, I can see that, but
What
by
was weird
ambient,
is
ambient volume there.
I'm talking about a conversation.
Right.
We were bantering back and forth about renovating the kitchen.
Right.
And, you know, most women would want to have their kitchen renovated.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, you know, at this point, I'd rather take a trip.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather take 2 or 3 trips for the price that it would cost to renovate the kitchen. And we were having this conversation about the kitchen. I was sitting right in front of my iPad. No sooner do I look down, this video comes through my Facebook that shows this gorgeous kitchen. It says, are you looking to renovate your kitchen? I never see kitchen ads, okay? So I knew that they were listening to my conversation. I had not done any searching on any websites about kitchen. I was simply having the conversation. So
Now, there was an article from Facebook saying that they did have the technology, but that also stated that they never used it, which I think is probably...
well, Al made some comments that there's a way you go into your settings. Maybe we could, if we can get him to get you the information, that you can make sure that you say, no, you can't use my microphone. Of course, if you're going to do Facebook Lives or conversations, or
yeah.
you're going to use it, it may impact it. But we need to explore this farther. But
Yeah, and it's not just Facebook. It probably is also Instagram, also Twitter and things like that. So
well, it's not just that, guys. It's your
Right.
refrigerator. It's your stove. It's your laundry machine. They all are having this ability to listen to your conversations. Your smart TV. I know it sounds crazy, but it's not crazy. This is what they're doing. And when I say listening, people go, there's not a bunch of people listening around
No.
the conversation. No, it's AI.
Right.
It's
And
artificial
they're working
intelligence.
for certain words.
Yeah, if they hear
Trigger it.
certain words that are going through these microphones, it automatically, to your IP address, they heard me saying the word kitchen, 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 kitchen. Oh, let's give her something about kitchen tools or kitchen. I thought it was the first feeling that I said, wow, there is a big brother.
Well, this is what the Facebook was marketing this to their advertisers.
Right, we have
So,
these technologies.
exactly.
You
So-
want to spend the money because we know who's interested in what you're doing,
Yeah.
you know?
So how do you prevent yourself from becoming...
Suffering nomophobia.
Yeah. So let's ask some questions. There's 4 of them here. First, does your mobile phone dominate your life?
Do you turn it off on holiday or at night?
Do you take your mobile phone to the bathroom or other unusual places?
I say that's not so unusual. I think
Yeah.
more people sit in there
Yeah,
and
exactly.
use that as a scrolling time. And how often do you look at your mobile phone? And these questions will help you to distance yourself from the fact and realize the impact a mobile phone has on your daily life. There's a balance, folks, and we need to find it.
Yeah.
And remember, over time, a few bad habits can develop into serious disorders.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with making use of the possibilities it gives us. I mean, these are great inventions, and they do save a lot of time, and they do get you. I mean, if we didn't have these devices, our research would be much harder. We'd have to go to a library and look through books.
I think there's a time to detach, though.
Oh, yeah.
And I do think that, I
Well,
was
perfect
really,
time is after 9 o'clock at night,
I was really-
weekends.
I was proud of my daughter when she had her kids. You know, she went off of Facebook. I mean, I miss her, seeing her there, but actually now she's started to pop up a little bit here and there. But you know,
I know, it's tough.
I think it's actually really good
Yeah.
that
Well,
she does.
I had detached myself before I went on vacation, but because I want to share stuff,
Right.
the pictures and things about the trip, you're kind of forced into, putting these things on there. So even though I took the apps off my devices, I can still put pictures in there and things
I
like
think
that.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn mine off because I don't want to spend the money. I'm going to take pictures and then I'll throw them into an album and then later I'll commentate, on them. But let's talk about how do you start a digital detox, guys. This is again from slowdigital.com, a site I'm exploring. Is digital detox a new trend? Well, if it is, I think it's probably a healthy trend, both mind, body, and spirit. The first thing most people do when they wake up is, as we talked about, they're checking their emails and notifications, see if anything happened, that they check their headlines. I check my YouTube news feed.
So first thing, you roll over in bed and you go through your phone and you get up and you walk into the kitchen and you start looking at things.
Yeah, and they might browse the news. It's kind of like the new newspaper, right? Yeah. And during work, you might constantly use your computer and phone. For most part, these are all important tools. But even during the lunch breaks, phones are kept in cases sometimes. They're just everywhere. And the average user touches their mobile phone about 2,600 times a day on average. That's really...
That's a number, boy. That's quite often, right?
I don't know if any of you guys from using pads or phones are feeling any electrosensitivity. I'm curious if anyone else gets it sometimes if they're typing a lot on their iPad, if they feel it in their fingers. I do. But I'm pretty energy sensitive as it goes anyways. So it might be time that you decide to do a smartphone detox once in a while. And, there's some tips in a TED Talk that's called Anita Digital Detox. It's by Tanya Mulry. And so I think that might be some great things that you could tune into doing. And, maybe it's a great idea to start out watching that TED Talk, make a commitment to do it, just like you do some other kind of cleanse or a little regime, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And, have a meal with your family and friends.
Well, this was always the standard thing in America and Holland. Remember, family time was dinner time. And we sat and everybody talked. And there was no phones in those days. And these days, we're not part of the whole family anymore. It's just Ellen and I. But I can only imagine in the modern family, everybody's sitting and looking at their devices,
I think it's in fact, I think it's even less likely that people are even sitting at a table as much anymore. They're usually sitting in front of a TV or around their computer, or like you said, everyone's on their own device. It is so frustrating.
And you always see that little caption of two teenagers sitting side by side, and they're not talking, but they're texting to each other. I mean, I've seen that a number of times.
And the 20-somethings do that.
Yeah.
And it's a little distracting if you know that they're doing that too. You feel like they're talking about
Well, they're doing
you.
other things on there too. I mean, they're multitasking on these devices, not a lot better than we are. So they're looking at different things and then they're having a conversation with the person next to them through the digital media, not through the conversation. So this is changing how we behave in society.
Oh, absolutely. It says, and there's a little video here. I might try and see if I can send it over to Al to watch. Maybe you can go over some of these things. Like, don't multitask all the time. We need to enjoy living in the moment. That's what I realize. People go on vacation. We go on vacation, and we're so busy documenting it to the world of strangers who really could care less, probably.
Probably.
And here we are. So, I'm going to try and do a digital detox on my vacation. I'm going to have some beautiful pictures. It's going to be gorgeous where I'm going, but I'm going to try and chill out a little bit. We'll be right back. Digital detox might be for you and for me.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated folic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Doesn't it seem like every week there's another story about privacy and how someone wants to invade it? Most of the time the story has something to do with this, or maybe even one of these, and the privacy issues are usually related to an app like a Shazam or a Facebook or an Instagram. But come on, we love our technology, we need it. We pretty much don't live without it anymore, right? But we can live a bit more mindfully. By just taking some simple steps, you can make sure your business stays your business. Now, when it comes to your phone apps, they need to have your mic enabled to get a signal. That's how it works. They ask permission and you give it to them. Now, sometimes you don't know you gave it to them, but you do have control. And you can check anytime. It's super easy. On iPhone, under Settings, click Privacy. Under Privacy, click Microphone. Here you'll see a list of the apps that want access to your microphone. Toggle to disable or leave them on if you want. With Android, it's under Settings, then Apps, and each app is individually listed. So that brings up a question that I get asked all the time. Can my phone or computer hear me even when it's off? It's not supposed to work that way. But if you're worried about it, I have a great solution. It's this. It's a silent pocket. It's for when you want to be absolutely, positively private. And there's a sweet side benefit. No EMFs. I love that. No sound. Nothing in, nothing out. And let's not forget your computer. It has a mic too. If you have a PC or Mac, head to System Preferences, turn the input volume way down. And my personal favorite, creep blockers. You know, I love these because my creep blockers can give you webcam and microphone privacy in a fun, creative, and happy way. Now, as always, everything that I talk about in these videos, the creep blockers, links to these great articles is on my site. So visit safertech.com, and here's to Check Wellness.
Very cool creep blocker.
Okay, yeah, but I still think when it's off, they can switch it on. I really have that feeling that that's happening too.
Well, and that might be why these blockers are interesting. We're gonna be learning more and more about these kind of things in my hopes that we do. But let's get back to some of those tips. Don't multitask. Enjoy living in the moment, and go back to using a paper calendar or notebook and make checklists. I actually still like making a list.
Yeah, and my wife uses checklists and notes and paper.
There's something about that real check
exactly.
and the
and
visual.
also, writing things in longhand triggers your memory much better than even typing or anything like that. Longhand is the writer's way of really connecting with the paper. And if you've ever written anything like that, you really do remember things much better than typing them out.
Well, that's very interesting because today there's a lot of conflict that a lot of kids aren't learning cursive anymore.
Right.
They're learning a print, and
Well, it's
most
not
of
that they're
them
not
learn to
learning
type.
it because they're not teaching it.
Right, they're not
Yeah.
teaching it. But so if that's a memory thing, that's not a good thing. You know, work out without your music and without any sports apps. Connect to nature. This would be something natural you'd hear from Nico and I. Be primal. Primal Man didn't have a set of earbuds in his ears, so you shouldn't either. Get outside and listen to the sounds. It makes you bigger than your own head, if that makes sense. You know, Dr. Eric Berg talks about that, how to reduce stress, that we get closed in because we got all this stuff coming into us, all this information, and when we get outside, it's good to kind of open up your head, you know?
And that closing in feeling, too, you really do get that from these devices, no doubt about it. You want to just get rid of them, but the panic sets in when you do, so it's kind of a two-edged sword there, and I've felt that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And turn on your airplane mode. Even when you're not on a plane, it's very useful. It helps you focus on your work and the people around you and yourself. There's a do not disturb function where you can even turn that off. And if someone calls you twice, like they might do if there was an emergency, then it would ring through. Because
Right,
it sees this twice, they'll say, well, maybe this person really needs to reach.
Yeah.
But as I said, yeah, I'm guilty of using my iPhone as a alarm, but I put it in the other room, so I have to literally get out of the bed. And I
Well,
hear
that's
it.
good way.
I set it to bird chirps.
Okay.
And I put it on airplane mode, and it works. You know, all those little functions work. And then when I turn it back on, all of a sudden, all the notifications load up and everything.
Yeah. So it says here that a digital detox can be quite challenging today for a lot of people, and it's probably almost impossible for some people. But a good thing to do is try a couple hours at a time, 2 or 3 hours, set aside a point. Going out to dinner is a good time. Just leave your phone at home. I mean, it'll be there when you get back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not have it attached to you all the time.
Yeah.
Because remember, that attachment, there's health issues with that in itself, while constantly having a radiation
Yeah, that's the other
device.
side of it too. It's not
Yeah.
just that our mind it's working on our mind, but it's definitely working on physical and mental conditions too.
That's
Sure.
right. You know, so we're going to be discussing some other articles here at this site, Slow Digital, and tell you more about starting a digital detox and time management in sports that you can use without the use of technology. So here's a digital detox mini guide we're going to go into. And this mini guide, you know, as we've mentioned, many of us can't imagine a day without our modern technology attached to us. And you deliberately turn off your mobile phone, computer, and tablet and focus on the real world without checking Facebook, emails, or news. That's what a digital detox is. You literally, deliberately turn these off. You disconnect. And at the time when technology becomes ubiquitous everywhere, there's a new trend starting to emerge. It's called the digital detox, and it's in vogue, and it's cool. And, you know, I think you can even respond to some of your emails and say, I'm sorry, it's been 6 days, but I've been on a digital detox.
Yeah, why not?
And I'm getting back to you now. You know, why do we have to feel so anxious?
Well, it's
here
a
I am.
two-edged sword because these devices allow us to work from home a lot easier. That's what my wife Ellen always does. You know, she's home more now than ever, and that's a good thing. And it looks like in the years to come, she's going to do more and more of that. But it's these devices, the computer attachment to her computer at work, that allows her to do that. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult. Sending messages, getting messages, you know, things like that. So
It's just so hard to believe before we even had email, you know. I think about that. I mean, I remember my days, you know, I went to work with the 3-letter computer companies right after school. And we didn't even have PCs back then.
Right.
We had VT100 dumb terminals.
Yeah.
So, you know, you really didn't have it. But we really do have an obsessive relationship with technology, and it's a growing problem, and we're constantly online and can't break use of ourselves. And so what is a digital detox all about? If we want to detox our body and mind, we have several possibility methods. We talk often about doing cleanses. We talk about doing purges. We talk about doing fasting, which is an excellent form of cleansing. So how about a digital fast, right?
I think it's a great idea.
Yes, slow digital fast. There you go. And
Yeah, so just start with a few hours, like I said, but it really becomes much, much better, and you start realizing how good this is for you if you do a whole day,
right.
or maybe a whole week, or you go on vacation and you say, okay, maybe buy a camera instead of just using the phone, that type of thing. So the thing is not constantly on, and then you can really see that you really don't need it all the time.
It's just, I think we have forgotten what life is like without being connected 24/7.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I like the idea of, you could say trying to do it on weekends, but many of us, that's our social interaction. And what are we doing? We're trying to connect with people socially.
Yeah.
Maybe make the plans and just say, we'll see you at the restaurant at 7 and see you at church at, 10 o'clock and just be there and turn the phones off and leave it from there.
Yeah.
Another way is to go on a holiday and give up using electronic devices completely. For example, leaving them in the hotel or even at home, as I mentioned I'm going to do with my trip to Europe.
Well, it's easier in Europe because you're going to have to pay dearly to use services over there.
Not so much anymore. It's $5 for
really?
me to extend
Really?
with
Wow.
Sprint, and have unlimited calls. But
Okay.
I think it's going to be a good idea. We'll be right back. Digital Detox.
All right.
Technology fast.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
So what are the benefits that we talk about? You probably think that a few days without your phone and your computer probably won't change a thing. But having tried digital detox, your attitude towards technology will surely change, it says here. When you realize that you can live without looking at your phone every 10 minutes, you start to appreciate the real world.
Reminds me of soap operas, When I was in college in the 80s, we all got addicted to All My Children and As the World Turns. But didn't you realize you could stop watching it for a year and come back and just pick up where you left
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't move that fast. You know exactly what's going on. But during the break, we were also talking about it's just not our eyes. This stuff gets absorbed through our skin, and we were talking about, well, they probably make, wear long sleeves, but you could go even farther and just have this whole suit you could put on,
Yeah, maybe that's the next thing to produce.
That might be.
Those who decide to take a break from electronics admit that it enables them to increase their productivity at work and manage their free time more effectively. They remove a few use apps from their mobile phones,
Useless.
Stop being constantly logged in on social media, and avoid checking the work emails off duty. So when you limit your time spent online, you create extra time for other valuable activities, and usually this is time well spent with loved ones.
Yeah.
So what are some digital detox
Yeah,
daily
there's three steps
simple
here.
steps?
So for most of us, it's impossible to disconnect completely, but we can work on some of the bad habits to make our relationship with this technology healthier. And the number one is don't use your smartphone, laptop, or tablet before bedtime.
Huge, guys. This is something.
Maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours before, that type of thing.
I think that's great. I think your signal should be when the sun goes down. And so I guess you could say in the summer we have a little bit of leeway there because it stays light longer.
Yeah.
But remember, as we're learning from studying with Jack Kruse, that the latest research shows that as recent as December 2017, groundbreaking research came out that we have receptors in our skin called melanopsin receptors, just like we have in our eyes. And it's crucial. These melanopsin receptors are reading the light signals, and they're deciding what hormones need to be secreted. You do not want to constantly bombard your skin with the light from your big screen TV telling you not to produce hormones because it thinks it's still daytime. You follow it, guys? So, when it gets
and there
dark...
may be other underlying things that take place as well.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're saying is your body's constantly reacting to this. So it's in a stress mode constantly.
It is constantly a stress mode. In my study at the Food Enzyme Institute, digestion, food, you need to detach from the media. Your body is hearing that bad news. The phone, you need to focus on digestion, interaction.
And if your health gets really bad, you end up in a hospital with all kinds of technology around you. This is bad too.
So choose the time of the day. That's number 2, that you will be away and free from contact with the media. Create a media shutdown of your own. We need to shut down most of it anyways. Most of it's just propaganda. So go ahead and decide that, maybe when the TV, when it gets dark, the TV goes off, the screens go off, and the books come out in the conversation, or maybe even the music.
Light a candle.
Candle and music. How about just some good music?
Yeah.
Yesterday we listened to some music out in the sun. It was just wonderful. And number 3
is treat yourself to a detoxification weekend from time to time. So maybe once a month you can set aside a whole weekend where you ditch the phone and everything, let everybody know that's what you're doing if you need that. And this will give you 2 or 3 days of freedom.
I like the idea. And as I said, I'm gonna work a little bit harder at giving myself big chunks of time while I'm on my trip doing that. And so if you're intrigued with doing that, choose the real world instead of a virtual one, folks. Every once in a while we really need to remember
and in this time of our lives, in this technology society that we have, we're actually going towards the other way. We're looking at ways of putting stuff in our face that isn't real so we can make up our own little world. What's wrong with the world we have here?
Yeah, what's wrong with the real world? Just getting back into real communications and real connections. I like this idea, and it doesn't have to just be when you're on vacation. As I said, we can integrate it and make ourselves have a healthier life. Maybe being more disconnected is exactly what we need in the right way.
Yeah, and all this stuff is going to be in our next newsletter, so pick it up, please, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, guys. Have
Bye-bye.
a great week. Bye-bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his Opening Call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the Opening Call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.